champ is here!
It's just a man!
Give me a hell yeah!
What the Rock is cooking.
To be the man, you have to be the man.
Big Papa Pump! It's your hookup!
Fallen.
Holla! In the air!
Woo, woo, woo!
Cup of coffee in the big day.
Hey, Excalibur, don't get salty, but it's Wednesday, and you know what that means, folks. Working the Marks coming to you live here on Famcast Media. And so I want to thank you all for tuning in from wherever and however you may be doing so right now on Facebook Live, via streamer, and also on the Working the Marks YouTube page, as well as on Twitch and all of the other social media platforms we have here, folks. I am New Jersey's premier award-winning journalist because my level of honesty is necessary in this era of deception. It's me, Fernando Uribe. Joining me here tonight, my amazing panelists, a lover of fat girls everywhere, the Boricua Nightmare, Macho Rodriguez, certainly New Jersey's premier wrestling analyst, Dominic Bane Mysterio, certainly the only Canadian destroyer that actually sells these days. He's the talent, Tyler Taylor, and of course, Polish producer, Dee Rotten in the house. We love him. And
the Polish powerhouse.
The Polish powerhouse at Selling Production, Dee Rotten, folks. Again, it's Wednesday. Hit that share button, shoot us some comments, emails, tweets, whatever you like, folks, as we're talking wrestling here on Working the Marks. How's everybody doing tonight?
You think the darkness was your ally? You merely adopted the dark. I was born in the dark, molded by it.
I mean, if you're gonna shout me out as Bane, I gotta do the Bane impersonation. Right?
Absolutely, and that was amazing. That was
Very
amazing.
easy. Quick tutorial how to do it. You cup your hands,
Put it over your mouth, and then you speak like Sean Connery, but ask questions.
and that's it. Real simple. There you
Good
go.
I
stuff.
love it.
Good stuff, guys. Happy Wednesday. A lot to talk about here. Let's get started with actually one topic that wasn't on the menu, but I really want to get your thoughts on it because I think some of us watch it, some of us don't. But Vice TV did announce this week that they are presenting season 5 of Dark Side of the Ring, the wildly popular, again, among the Mark community, of course, as it comes to exposing secrets of the pro wrestling business. The first 4 seasons have had some very interesting episodes, some very dark ones, some very, emotional ones, and some very cautionary ones as well. This season coming up, again, Vice announcing it will resume in mid to late March. 10 episodes is what's slated for this year. In no particular order, though, guys, it's Chris Adams, Sensational Sherry, Terry Bam Bam Gordy, Black Saturday. And for those of you that are not familiar with Black Saturday, that was when Vince McMahon purchased Georgia Championship Wrestling in 1984 just to gain access to its TBS time slot. Also, Chris Colt, The Sandman, Earthquake, a.k.a. John Tenta, Harley Race, Buff Bagwell, and Brutus the Barber Beefcake. 10 very interesting stories. I think also being announced was looking at Kurt Angle's drug history, which we learned about in his later, his first WWE stint, and then throughout his TNA years. Guys, I gotta tell
need
you,
more information about that.
Yes,
the man
I know.
is literally called Perk Angle. We don't need any more information.
Perk Angle, yeah, as he's known on the streets. You know what I'm saying?
Guys, as a wrestling fan, very much like Vice has done with Dark Side of the 90s, Dark Side of the 2000s, Dark Side of Comedy, Dark Side of Football. I mean, these are informative, docuseries. I know it's not for everybody. I know it exposes things that maybe should be left behind the curtain. I found them to be very interesting over the years. Obviously, some emotional ones. The one about Owen Hart, the one about Chris Benoit, certainly, and the events leading up to the murder-suicide involving him and his wife and son. Certainly, the Montreal Screwjob, the rise and fall of the Road Warriors. A lot of great episodes over the years, guys. Again, it's been informative to me. The Plane Ride from Hell is also. It's not
my favorite one.
Yeah, it's not for everybody, but I think that at least maybe we can all meet in the middle of this. They've been informative for those of us that maybe didn't know the backstory and are curious about what has gone on in the pro wrestling business.
Tyler?
Yeah, I think there've definitely been some interesting ones. I liked, hard to say like because it's a pretty sad story, but I was The Von Erich one was very informative. The one on Gino Hernandez as well. Some of the less spotlighted, performers. They're informative.
I'd tell you this though, man. Instead of the Kurt Angle shit, I would have rather hear about Rick Rude.
Oof.
You know?
Well, you watch your mouth. Listen, wasn't there one on the Brawl for All?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was. I mean, you know what? It's interesting because you got a lot of different perspectives there, from Cornette to Russo to people that kind of had their hand in that entire disaster, right? Because I think
I think I would actually like it better if it was things like that. Dive into like bad ideas in professional wrestling history instead of diving into specific wrestlers. I think that would be better.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I think the premise was to really push at the time in 1998, Dr. Death Steve Williams, who was, at the tail end of his career, but Vince McMahon found, again, him to be a valuable commodity. And
he's a Jim Ross guy. Jim Ross was the one that lobbied for him hard.
Yes.
From Oklahoma.
Yes. And, University of Oklahoma, All-American. And something happened along the way where I think he got knocked out by Bart Gunn, and it really weakened him in terms of his presentation. I think after that, it was hard for him to recover. I think in that episode, I know Jim Ross talked about it. Cornette talked about it. Russo talked about it. It was tragic because, again, you looked at Dr. Death Steve Williams for a career. He's a guy that doesn't get, I think, enough flowers for how good of a competitor he was. A good talker, too. If you remember some of those matches where he and Bam Bam Terry Gordy were tag team champions in New Japan, I mean, that team was next to, like, Bam Bam Bigelow and Vader. I mean, that was like a slobber knocker team. So it's a shame.
Did you just like compare Dr. Death Steve Williams to Bam Bam Bigelow?
What I'm saying is Terry Gordy and Dr. Death as a team, they were pretty. I mean, there's a lot of similarities about how good they were compared to, let's say, Vader and Bam Bam, because they were also a dominant team that was booked very convincingly in New Japan. That's all I'm saying.
Maybe in terms of the way they're booked, but in terms of all-around talent, they're nowhere near Big Van Vader and Bam Bam Bigelow.
No, that's right. That's fine. Okay, but I'm just saying that again.
Wait a minute. What you saying that Dr. Death and who Terry Bam Bam Gordy aren't as good as Vader and Bam Bam? They're on par.
But Bam Bam Bigelow was like, he was just a separate dude.
He was phenomenal, man. But if you look at the work that those guys had in Japan together, it was great, man.
Yeah.
And they were fantastic in the role that they were in. And they were fucking killers, man. All four of those guys were great, in my opinion.
I mean, again, guys, it
was Scott Norton and Ice Train. We don't take them seriously either, though.
And by the way, condolences to the family of Ice Train just passing away today. I just learned that on Twitter today. Yeah, it was a shame. Good talent there.
He passed away last night.
Yeah, but Pat,
who passed away last night? Repeat that. Who passed away last night? Ice Train.
Yeah,
Ice Train.
Did I just fucking mention that? And did I jinx him? What the fuck?
Yeah, it was tragic. Yeah, I know Pat's probably the most cynical of the series here. Pat, your thoughts on a new season on Vice City?
I could give a rat's ass. I don't like it. I just think it does nothing but fucking stir up trouble. I mean, I kind of preferred it when all this shit was just on books, like where you have to go and fucking look it up or listen to somebody else tell you a fucking story about it. You know what I mean? All this kind of shit, it just stirs up unnecessary nonsense. People get mad about it for like fucking 5 minutes and then that's it. But it creates a lot of unnecessary, look at Tommy Dreamer losing his fucking job. Why? Because he was oogling fucking Ric Flair schwanz. All right, whatever, man. It is what it is. You like to oogle fucking Ric Flair schwanz, but you shouldn't lose your fucking job for it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, that's right.
The other thing too is a lot of this shit lacks context too. You know what I'm saying? If Ric Flair's still taking his fucking, dick out now, then that's a fucking different story. You know what I mean? But back in them fucking days, everything was fucking wild. Everything was fucking wild.
But Pat, doesn't it sort of speak about, I think, maybe the culture we live in where, let's be honest.
I knew you were gonna try and go there, and
no.
I'm not gonna go down this fucking rabbit hole.
No. Hear me out. It's the reason we watch docuseries on Netflix and Hulu and Prime about documentaries about. I mean, let's be honest. On HBO Max, the Kim and Kanye documentary, I mean, people tune in for that. Whether it's good or not, whether you're right, they can lack context.
I get it, but like, bro, nobody tunes in for that fucking show. Nobody.
Class-
Vice
classes.
just has to produce content. Yeah, but you're a fucking minority within a minority. You know what I'm saying? Their ratings on average, it's like fucking
AEW
Rampage ratings. You know what I'm saying? But worse. It's like 200,000, 150,000. Like, bro, that's not sustainable numbers. The good thing for the producers of that show is that Vice is hungry for content. So
Big time.
Vice is looking for anything that they can, because what do they got? They already fucking went to every bush all around the fucking
They
world.
put up everything.
To film some peoples and do whatever, right? They've already done a bunch of different shit. So this, you know, kind of draws something, you know, the 90s shit. Always nostalgia. It's the nostalgia shit too, you know.
Guys, do
But-
you think it would do better on perhaps on a streaming service as opposed to again in Vice?
No, it doesn't make a lick of difference, Fernando. They could put it on fucking YouTube. The only people that are gonna watch it are marks. That's it.
No, listen, I think that's fair. Speaking of marks, it's being reported that AEW is bringing back this rating
Great.
system.
Great segue.
And you know, I got to tell you guys, for you know, and again, I'll certainly want Tyler to lead off on this. For a rating system that at times didn't make sense because, you know, people were either getting title shots that you would think are circumventing the rankings. I mean, I get it. You're trying to give it this era of legitimacy, and I know that the word legitimacy and All Elite Wrestling, I mean, is about the polar opposites of each other. But I understand the premise of trying to sort of legitimize it like you would a sport, like, you know, boxing rankings and the UFC, and I get all that. I understand the mindset that's geared toward it, but I mean, you know, bringing it back for what? I mean, Tony Khan doesn't book coherently to begin with, so you're just gonna have the ranking there just to occupy space in a caption
Because they're running out of ideas.
Yeah, it didn't. Well, I mean, that's something new in All Elite Wrestling, but that just seems to me like counterproductive to, if you're pushing certain people in storylines and title pictures, then don't have rankings. Because if that's the case, then whoever's at the top of the rankings based on win-loss and how that's compiled is beyond me, because there are people that have 10 straight wins. And I'm like, wait a second, how the fuck did this person win 10 straight matches when they're never on TV? But more on that later.
Hold on, I got to hook this cup of coffee here.
You know, Tyler, I'm just curious. I know you're the resident AEW apologist. Your thoughts, brother, on AEW bringing back yet another failed gimmick that didn't work before, brother?
Mach, how many times have I messaged you and been like, how the hell is Billy Gunn number 3 in the whatever title rankings or whatever? They don't make any sense, so what's the point? Like,
I have a theory.
You have a theory?
Yeah, I think because of his like tweets recently and how he talked about Hook being 28-1, he kind of booked himself into a corner, because now he showcased like this guy is 28-1. This was like the ranking, right? So I think that's what happened. And now he kind of he has to legitimize that. So it's like, hey, let's just bring back the rankings.
Yeah, you're probably right. They're going to continue to be nonsensical, though, and nobody's going to care about them. And it's just another wasted attempt at making sense.
It's over, bro. Bingo hall time, baby. Bingo hall time.
Well, speaking of that, actually, in addition to sort of bringing back the rating system, I think that you're also seeing a little bit of a decline in ticket sales. I think tonight's Dynamite, correct me if I'm not wrong, I think barely sold 2,000 tickets. And, you know, for a company that needs fuller buildings to, you know, convince its audience that, hey, again, they're trying to be competitive in North America with the WWE, that's not a good sign. You know, it's interesting. It's like, are we seeing, I know we've talked about this before in another episode, but are we seeing sort of like the last days of AEW? I mean, we're talking about, I mean, other than Revolution in Greensboro, I mean, listen, folks, we're 7 weeks away from that. That's a while until we get to Greensboro, to Revolution. I mean, in the meantime, we're talking about buildings that, I mean, they're not even getting 2,000 people in there. And you go on social media and, you know, AEW marks and then as they say, the neckbeards or the defenders, are gloating about, well, WWE's leaving cable TV. Well, more on that later. But I mean, it's weird to me where you're seeing some of these things that aren't working, and I don't know why Kahn's going back to the well again, because it didn't work the first time. It just seems like it's counterproductive now as ratings are declining, buildings look emptier. Guys, I'm not trying to be hyperbolic here. It's not my way, but my God, it's looking like a real decline though.
Did you just call me a neckbeard?
I didn't call you a neckbeard. I'm just saying some AEW defenders and neckbeard and marks. So I mean, if you have a beard on your neck, I don't know what to tell you, but I mean, I'm not referencing you. No, I'm glad you grew me. Yeah, it's awesome. But,
I'm just fucking with you.
I
mean, I'm less than a month ago. I was at Dynamite, and it was a full building. So I think it more or less depends on where they are. And yeah, it's a bad look, obviously, when you have 2,000 people there. They need to learn from that, and A, not run that building again. B, like we talked about before, maybe they need to look at running smaller buildings. I wish that they would just admit that they're not competition for WWE, and like some of these musical artists that are more about the art than they are about being a commercial success. I wish they would go that direction and say, this is what matters to us. We want to put on these great matches for you or whatever. We don't really care about all the rest of it. I think they would be better off that way.
Mach.
Yeah, I agree. I think they should run smaller venues. I think they're in a tough spot right now because Tony's kind of told everybody that they're WWE's direct competition, and he has to try to legitimize that, or else it makes him look like a fool. That's exactly what he is. I wish that there was a way for us to go back to maybe him never booking these big venues, saving them for special moments. Like the Battle of the Belts is not a pay-per-view. It's just a continuation of a show. That would have been a good time to be like, that would have been a good time to be like, hey, for Battle of the Belts, that's where we're going to go to, like somewhere like the Wachovia Center or something. I know that's not around anymore, but I'm just saying that. But
it is. Technically, it is. Yeah, technically, it is.
It's the Wells Fargo, arena. But what I'm saying is, like, that would have been a great, time to use it. But like for him to just go to Chicago where the Bulls play, like that's a big ass arena. Like, there's no need for you to book that show all the time. For him to like try to do Vegas, to do Jacksonville, to try to do the Jacksonville Jaguars Stadium. Like, there's just not places where he needs to be right now. I don't think he should have done that until like year 7 or 8. He should have just kept it small. Last week, Collision was a packed house. I watched Collision because I do a review with someone on Sunday mornings, and I watched that show and I was like, oh shit, it's all packed. It's legit too. It's like they even had to sell out the hard cam side. Like, it was a good, packed out show. But yeah, I don't know, man. I wish that there was something we could do. I wish he would listen to Eric Bischoff. You know what I mean? But he won't do it. I don't know why he hates that man so much, but
he speaks the truth, brother. People don't want to hear the truth.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that he says that are true. There's a lot of things that he says that are trolling too. And he did say that on 83 Weeks a couple weeks, when the Twitter exchange happened, he was just having fun. He was in his sauna and he was just talking shit. But yeah, I don't really know what to do. I think it's very interesting you're bringing this up, though, that he has to go to the well and he's got to go back to things that worked before, and hopefully they work now. And I think that's
but did it really work?
Showing signs of panic.
Did it really work though? Did it really work?
I mean, he was selling out arenas before. I mean, you're gonna make me the AEW defender now?
The hype train, bro. It was the hype train, bro.
Well, but it worked.
Mach, actually, to your point,
touche.
Disco and Conan did interview Eric Bischoff yesterday. And to your point about when he's mentioned on 83 Weeks with Conrad Thompson, yeah, he was in his house. It was like minus 30 degrees, and he was in a sauna. And he felt like, okay, let me try to be a little let me have some fun here. And it was interesting because, again, it sort of helps to segue to the next topic here because very much along the lines about Tony Khan having heat with Eric Bischoff, one of his former employees of Eric Bischoff, Kevin Nash, came to his former employer's defense this week on his.
Wait a minute. I didn't get to say nothing about the AEW thing.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Tell him, Dominic.
Yeah, man.
Look, man, I think everything's going according to plan with AEW. Tony Khan had a lot of opportunities to do the right thing for his company and for growing his company, and he chose not to. And he was spineless when perhaps he didn't need to be. You know what I mean? He just isn't a boss. And now this is kind of where he finds himself. And I find it interesting that now he's going back to the ratings, you know, based on what Macho said, you know, which I do agree with. When Danielson came in, like, he was really obeying the fucking, you know, the rankings, right? He was really like strict with his rankings, right? And instead of putting Danielson in a championship match with Omega and having him debut and win the title and do something hot, he chooses to give the title to Hangman because he earned it, because he was higher up in the rankings. So he made Bryan Danielson a fucking star, work from the bottom. Like, come on, man. You know what I mean? Like, how the fuck are you going to grow your company by doing that? That makes no fucking sense. So it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it's funny. It's funny because I remember that at the first Grand Slam event at the Arthur Ashe Complex in Flushing, Queens. I mean, that was a sold out. That was a sold out building, and they wrestled to a 30-minute time limit draw. He had just come in hot on his debut after All Out. You would think that, hey, put the title on Danielson. He's a marquee name right off the bat. But again, and listen, credit to
out of a WrestleMania main event.
Yeah,
he just came off a WrestleMania main event.
Yeah, and again,
Mr. Scott, thank you for all the comments. By the way, we're not.
Yes, I saw that.
Just,
yeah. And you know, credit to Hangman. You know, he was on paternity leave, came back. Tony felt that, hey, to Pat's point, he's higher in the rankings. He's a homegrown guy. You know, he deserves it. Well, is that always best for business? Clearly not, because the hot ticket would have been Danielson beating Omega at the only Grand Slam show that's been sold out. It's sort of progressively declined attendance-wise every year since 2021. And you would think that that's the moment to crown Danielson the champion, fresh off a main event a few months ago in Tampa at WrestleMania, and he comes in to a hot debut at All Out, and you have him with a time limit draw to Omega, never to challenge for the title really until maybe a year later. I thought it was,
he was Hangman's first challenger.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
Well,
they had two phenomenal matches.
Yeah. But again, a bad move, I think, to Patrick's point, a bad business move. Go with the guy that's hot, the marquee name. Not to say that Hangman isn't marquee, but he's not Bryan Danielson, not by a mile. So I thought, again, that you started seeing sort of like bad business moves materializing before your eyes with something like that. And of course, you know, we've learned ever since that it's been one bad move after another for some time. Mm-hmm. Obviously, guys, speaking of Eric Bischoff, certainly one of his former employees, Kevin Nash, on his Click This podcast, felt the need to come to Eric Bischoff's defense when Tony kind of called him a has-been. And apparently the argument spun out of Kahn taking issue with, for example, the double standard of fans criticizing Hook getting a title shot, but not WWE's Jinder Mahal. And of course, we all know the hoopla that surrounded that Twitter war and gender, and of course, you know, everything that surrounded that. The bottom line is this, that you would think that in business, talking to people that have done it and done it better than you would be like, that would be imperative to go into that learning tree. You know, something that stood out for me with Disco and Conan this week when they interviewed Bischoff was like, hey, the low-hanging fruit is always like, oh, he's a has-been. Oh, he's just looking for a job. Folks, from what I'm reading, you know, Eric Bischoff has a really nice ranch in Wyoming. Yeah, it's 10 degrees below zero every day for like 6 months out of the year, but he lives very comfortably. Yeah, he went through some problems financially at some point in his life, but he lives very comfortably. Bischoff doesn't need to physically leave his house to work. He does his 83 weeks with Conrad Thompson. He appears on other podcasts. He's good. I just think that it's funny how easily triggered Tony Khan gets. And again, I think that's a manifestation of AEW fans, a lot of them on social media that get very easily triggered. And, Nash felt the need to go after him and defend Eric Bischoff. And I think that, that just shows loyalty for a guy that, let's be honest, in the spring of 1996, Bischoff gambled, right? When he signed Scott Hall and him and created the New World Order storyline and brought in Hogan. Guys, let's be honest. This is not revisionist history. That was a gamble. We didn't know if it was going to work or not. We just didn't. It was sexy. It was a spicy new thing in pro wrestling in the mid 90s. Let's be fair. I'm sure Nash owes a lot to Bischoff. A lot of his paydays, a lot of the wealth he enjoys. I don't blame Kevin Nash. And I think that when Kahn does this, and he does it repeatedly, listen, you can be critical of people, but if Eric Bischoff, first of all, Eric Bischoff isn't a has-been. He's the only guy ever to give Vince McMahon a run for his money financially, ratings, maybe not always quality of wrestling, but I mean, listen, 83 weeks is 83 weeks. Okay, he had Vince nervous. Vince had to, replace the water coolers, the Titan Tower, and all the other stories or folklore that we heard, right? Well, if you want to learn under somebody, why not, not instead of like admonishing Eric Bischoff, why don't you just embrace the guy who was successful? But it seems like Khan's ego is bigger than my skull, and that's saying something because I have a really abnormal head.
True.
I agree with that.
Yeah, I do too. I wish you would listen to Eric. I wish you would listen to anybody that knows anything about professional wrestling. and let's go outside of that. I wish you would listen to anybody that knows anything about business. Right. That's it. Just listen to somebody. There are people in Hollywood that have their job is to make sure you don't say stupid shit. You know what I mean? Like the LA Rams had a guy who literally stood on the sideline and would grab Sean McVay and bring him back to the sideline every time he stepped foot on the field. He was called a bring back coach. That's what he was. That's all Tony needs. He just needs one person to be like, don't do it. Just don't do it.
But they have that. But they have that. They have a CLO. They have a CLO. I'm assuming that's what the CLO's job is.
Nah, man. He does. In theory, they do. On paper, they do. But in action, this dude's just a regular person on his fucking phone.
It's a vanity project.
That's really what it is.
That's what I was just going to say.
It's a vanity project. Like the dude he has a wrestling company. He's enjoying it. He's hired some people. He's doing some things, but he never really understood how to do it. He never really understood every aspect of the business. Mm-hmm. He never paid dues. He just showed up with fucking money. Mm-hmm. I can understand how, you not knowing the things you need to know in order to do what you're doing, and you're just doing it with no fucking experience, it's going to be difficult because marks, fans do not book the way bookers book. Okay? If fans book shows, they would not do good. Okay? They would do poorly. It would be one great show with fucking 59 matches.
So you're trying to say this is this is a 2K booking? He's doing 2K booking.
He's doing 2K booking, but for real. But again, I'm not going to shit on the guy. All right? And don't twist my words, D. Don't say that I'm saying he's a good booker or doing whatever you do for views. You fucking hooker. All right? Don't do that to me. But I respect the fact that the guy, did start up a wrestling company and employed people and, has played a part. And I mean, look, for as crazy as this is going to sound, there's a little kid that the first wrestling company they saw was AEW, and that's going to inspire them to be a wrestler in 10 years or 20 years from now. You know what I mean?
For better, for worse. For better, for worse. Yeah.
But that's going to exist because AEW's been there. So, you can't shit on them too much, but it's just, this is what happens, man. This is what happens. You could have all the money in the world. You could be a fan. You could truly love it. But if you don't know what the fuck you're doing and you don't understand it, you're not going to be good at it.
Tyler, first of all, are you in a phone booth? I can't really decipher.
Oh, you moved. What are you? Oh, he's by the poolside still.
Oh, gotcha. Okay, I thought you were in a phone booth. Okay, Tyler, your thoughts here on?
He's
Tony
not
Khan.
wearing bottoms. He's pulling a Donald Duck.
Oh,
Yeah.
Your thoughts on Tony Khan just getting reamed by Kevin Nash this week?
Yeah. So the one thing I think he should definitely learn from Eric Bischoff is Eric has said on several occasions he wasn't that involved in creative beyond the NWO. He let the people who knew what they were doing, the Kevin Sullivans, the Terry Taylors, the Dusties, do what they do, and he handled the business side. And that's what Tony should be doing. He should let Bryan Danielson and Jimmy Jacobs and those type of guys handle their business. He should bring someone in to run the women's since he clearly can't. He should.
But
he
Tyler,
should learn all that from.
But Tyler, even on the business side, he's still showing some deficiencies. Like you're on the Turner Network, right? TBS, TNT. Like if you remember, I mean, this is going back to the early days of AEW. I'll never forget when Cody, Shaquille O'Neal, Jay Cargill were involved in that angle. Like Shaquille O'Neal is a very visible sports personality. He's on one of the more popular shows on television inside the NBA. And I thought that was great to get them involved, like get more mainstream attention. I think that's a component of business. I don't think he's good at it because you would think that you're on. Listen, again, case in point, the NHL All-Star break is coming. Why not send AEW talent to where the All-Star game is, or to the Winter Classic, or to the NBA studio? I just think that aside from having a very faulty knowledge of booking, I just think business-wise too, I think he's struggling because it's not like you're on Access TV. It's not like, Scott D'Amore is limited with what he can do on Access TV with TNA. That's not the case with Tony. So I'm a little, it boggles my mind that he still can't even do that correctly.
Hold up. I know the show's called Working the Marks, but I got to mark out for a second. Pat, I think you might join me. Breaking news in professional wrestling. Bryan Danielson goes one-on-one this Saturday on Collision against Yuji Nagata.
Huge.
Bro,
huge.
That's going to be like, I'm going to watch the fuck out of that match. Like,
all right.
There you go. There are moments like that you can do. Like, who's Edge?
It's going to be huge. Huge.
Yeah, it's Adam Copeland versus Murder Grandpa.
Yeah, like
Minoru Suzuki. Yeah.
He has the right
tools.
He had Pat says it all the time. He has what?
Did you ever think you would see that?
Bryan versus
Nagata?
No.
You know what I'd really like to see, and I think AEW could actually do this, and this might draw some money. You get Sting and Sting together, and then you get Stuart Copeland and Adam Copeland together. And then you have the Police play a song on Dynamite. That would draw something, wouldn't it, right? You have the team of Sting and Sting taking on Copeland and Copeland. Like, holy shit. What the fuck? That should have been Sting's last match. I mean, what the fuck?
Guys, unfortunately, that match on Saturday is overshadowed by the fact that a lot of people will be watching the Rumble. Sure, the AEW diehards will watch that match, but for a live rating, it might not be the best thing. But yeah, no, that's a dream match, absolutely.
That's what DVR is for, bro.
I was gonna say we got that set up to DVR, right?
Yeah. That's what DVR is for, bro. Like, what do you mean? I'm gonna be on Peacock watching the Royal Rumble, though.
Oh yeah, likewise.
Because the Niners play on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully there aren't that many ads on Saturday, so we'll see. But speaking of Japanese talent, it was reported this week that Okada could be headed to the WWE. I mean, the Rainmaker finishing up his dates with his New Japan contract could be debuting soon, even in NXT. Guys, your thoughts on the Rainmaker coming to the States? Maybe a little bit later than we would have liked.
Are you sure? Are you sure, Professor? Because I heard Tony Khan's throwing out that he can come work for AEW and still live wherever he wants to live and just
that's fine. Matches. But if he wants millions of people to watch him on television, and certainly whether it's on SmackDown, on the USA Network, whether it's on Monday Night Raw, and obviously it's new home, which we'll talk about more about that later. I think it's a good move for him. Obviously, maybe starting on NXT, certainly working with the talent there. I think he could probably
Tyler.
he could be jettisoned to the main roster pretty quickly. I think it might be a good move for him. Again, nothing's confirmed. That seems to be the hot rumor right now, folks. Right now in the pro wrestling circuit. Guys, what are your thoughts?
Huge. It's huge. Okay? Huge. I think if Okada goes to WWE, I think it's only going to be good for him. He's going to be seen by more people. He might not make as much money as, let's say, what Tony Khan's willing to pay him. But, they're going to know how to use him. And he's going to be on big fucking shows like WrestleMania, all that different type of shit. And then by the time he goes back to Japan to finish up his career, fucking perfect. Perfect. I'd love to see him team with Nakamura at some point, but I think him going to NXT would be a good idea. I really do, because you want to introduce him to your audience, right? Because the people who have seen him are mostly the hardcores. They're going to know who he is. You're not going to have to introduce Kazuchika Okada to hardcore wrestling fans. I think putting him in NXT provides him an opportunity for people to get to know him, especially since it's going to be moving to CW. Okay? All that stuff lends itself to Okada becoming a big star in the States. I really hope that he comes over. I really would love to see it.
I'm excited about it. I love the fact that that this is like the hot rumor right now, because I'm still very disappointed that Will Ospreay chose AEW. Not because he's gonna go work those guys, but I really and I said this to Tyler a lot. I really thought that Will Ospreay had the ability to be like the next big star in professional wrestling. I saw him as a WrestleMania main eventer.
He did.
That's what I saw when I watched him. And he goes over there, and I felt like he's just not betting on himself. You know what I mean? Like that. We're like he's saying, "I'm okay. I can go over here. I can make money, but I get to stay at home." You know what I mean? But Okada's betting on himself.
Well, Okada's betting on himself, but I mean, it's different scenarios for different guys. I mean, Ospreay still has potential to be a WrestleMania main eventer. He still has potential to do something like that in his career. I get what you're saying, but money talks, man. Money talks, man. I mean, when AJ Styles was in TNA, I don't think anybody thought any less of him. You know what I mean? He was still fantastic.
No,
he was still one of the best wrestlers in the world. So I think it's kind of a similar scenario in that sense.
But TNA wasn't as bad as AEW is now.
Fair.
With Will, he's also said that he's expressed that he doesn't want to live in the States. So if they're going to let him live over in the UK and still come in and work 2 or 3 times a month, then that's understandable for him.
He just wants to be a star. He doesn't want to be a superstar.
Maybe he wants to be with his family, though. Maybe that's better for him to be with his family.
No, listen,
I'm mad at him for that.
He was
guys, the
stuck in Japan for wasn't he stuck in Japan for like a year and a half during COVID or something?
Yeah.
So that to me, I think that's a big deal to him. So that's probably what.
Listen, to Patrick's point about money, certainly he's making more money. His dates are more convenient. There's no house shows to do. He comes in however many times he has to in a month, maybe once a month for all we know. I mean, again, it's, Tony, when it comes to putting talent on TV, it's interesting about who he gives a lot of airtime to. But, for a guy that, again, is not going to have to travel very far, maybe it's one, first class, maybe 2 first class round trip tickets from England to wherever it is in the States. Okay, it's a 5, maybe 6 hour flight. Okay, it's not like he's traveling to multiple cities in a week. Sure, and again, if he's getting compensated more than, let's say, what Nick Khan and Endeavor were going to pay him, then who can blame? Who can blame him? He wants to be close to his family. I think is for a guy that, especially in a business like this, when you can spend time with family, do that, right? Like, wasn't that always the biggest pet peeve about pro wrestling for decades, that it was a business that ran people into the ground, that they were working 300 days a year, never saw families, missed birthdays, missed quinceañeras, missed communions? Well, that's not the case.
What about bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs?
Put that comment back up.
Yeah. That was interesting too.
Was Shinsuke Nakamura slander on our
Yeah, what? Because everything that Shinsuke Nakamura has cut recently has been a phenomenal promo. If you're reading what he's saying, everything has been great, and he's always been like the Michael Jackson. That's kind of been like his character. He's always been like the Michael Jackson like type of star. He's just like bigger than. We don't know if Okada can cut a good promo because we've never heard him cut a promo in like American language.
He speaks decent English. He speaks decent English.
Guys, in fairness,
that's a good start.
Guys, in fairness, and again, not to give spoilers away, but tomorrow night on TNA, he does team up with the Motor City Machine Guns against the system, and if you watch the promo with the Motor City Machine Guns, he was fine. Again, he's not reciting the periodic table. He's not reciting the Bill of Rights. It was fine. It was a good promo.
Periodic table. You're so weird. It's like the third time we've mentioned that shit today.
He's the professor.
But what
That's a shtick, man.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. What I'm trying to say is Asuka speaks just in Japanese, and she says just the words she needs to say, and it's over. The crowd loves it. She's beautiful. A Mount Rushmore wrestler. You know what I mean? Like, she's just that good. Okada, that's what he's doing. He's trying to be mentioned when it's all said and done with people like Cena, Orton, Muta. He wants to be mentioned in that class. And that's why I firmly believe that for him, I don't think he's going to take money from AEW. I think he cares more about legacy. And again,
he's a little bit older now than other people, let's say, who, again, Ospreay still has time. Isn't Ospreay in his mid to late 20s, or maybe he's 30 exactly? I don't know. D, where's the Polish producer? Did he go pee or something? What the fuck? All right, D, there you go. D, look up Ospreay's age real quick there and Okada's, please. Okay. Thank you. So again, I mean, different strokes for different folks. They might be in different phases of their career, and if Okada cares about legacy, you want to be seen on as many televisions.
Well, Ospreay's 30.
And how old is Okada?
36.
Okay, again, those are young men in life years. But if you're Okada, you want to maximize your time that you have left in the business. Why not go to where you're going to be seen in stadiums, not just in New Japan for Wrestle Kingdom, but stadiums in North America? If he goes to AEW, he's never going to wrestle in a full stadium in North America. That's never going to happen. It's just not. We have to come to accept that. Tony Khan owns an NFL-sized ballpark,
which he's never used.
One of the smaller ones in North America, but yet Tony Khan's never going to fill a 67,000-seat stadium in North America. That's never going to happen. I know that's, sorry, Tyler, but that's just the truth. And Okada, be smart. You want to. Hey, listen. Do you want to be in Atlanta next year for WrestleMania? Do you want to be in Ford Field? Do you want to be at Madison Square Garden? Do you want to be?
Bro, I'll bet that pack of Bubblicious I got a bet on with Dominic over here that Okada talked to Shinsuke, and Shinsuke's like, dude, get over here now.
No doubt. I think it'll be good. Yeah, Tyler, I'm sorry.
As far as him starting in NXT, which some people seem to be like losing their mind about, one thing that does is gives him time to acclimate to living in the States.
Yep.
Which is different than certainly different than where he's from, and not have to travel all over every week. They do run the Coconut Loop or whatever, but the TV show's taped in the same studio every week.
Yep.
So I think that's brilliant.
Hey, listen, the freedom-loving state of Florida, no state income tax, doesn't have to travel. I mean, check, folks. So I think it's a good idea for him for sure. I mean, Pat can smirk all he wants, but I mean, he knows I'm spitting truth here. I'm spilling that tea.
Yeah, I would love some no state tax, but
absolutely.
Until it's fucking hurricane, right?
Yeah,
it's mid-January, and you can jump in that pool right there when he gets done doing whatever he's doing.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, we can't do that, Pat and Mach, and and D, obviously. Other big news aside from the impending free agency of Okada, folks, major move, and sort of a side note here. I don't know if you've seen the meme, but it's true. Think about how far Nick Kahn has come, ladies and gentlemen, from a guy on Wheel of Fortune who, was able to win enough money to get himself through law school and get a law degree to enter entertainment as an agent and an attorney to where he is now making billion-dollar deals. This latest one by WWE folks and Endeavor and TKO, I think, is changing the game when it comes to, again, the UFC, the WWE, and maybe live sports to some extent. It was announced this week by Forbes and other news outlets that WWE and Netflix have reached an agreement. For the next 10 years, Netflix will pay WWE $5 billion to air Monday Night Raw, apparently commercial-free, on Monday nights starting in January of 2025. Folks, to say this is a game changer, I think is a profound understatement in the way I think we look at sports entertainment, and I think streaming seems to be the wave of the future.
Question.
Yes.
I have a question. I have a comment I'd like to make as well. This situation is fucking bananas. I wouldn't be surprised if they go back to 2 hours, right? I wouldn't be surprised if they make a lot of interesting changes.
Yeah, 3 hours commercial free is a lot, dude. Yeah.
Not only that, imagine the crossovers that they're gonna do with the fucking Netflix shows and the Netflix movies, dude. Think about that shit,
bro.
You know what I'm saying,
Dominic?
That's what
around the world, Netflix is gonna host Raw, SmackDown, NXT. So if you got a VPN and you want to have everything on one shot,
so okay, but they're also gonna end up doing the PLEs too. I heard. So Fernando, you
everywhere
might be
but
your
the states.
now.
Yeah.
No, everywhere but the states. Not in the
but
United States.
Yeah, everywhere but the United States, around the world.
Wow.
So we'll have to keep Peacock or the PLE.
Unless you get a VPN and you just use France's Netflix or something like that.
Which is what a lot of people will do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You'll have a one-stop shop.
Guys, it's a game changer because I think now it starts setting the seed to really put ESPN on notice when it comes to UFC eventually probably doing the same thing and going to Netflix or maybe going to be again. I'm not the UFC aficionado that a lot of you guys are, and I think it's really egregious paying $80 for a UFC pay-per-view. I mean, yeah. You're quite smart. But man, if you can get that on a streaming service like Peacock or Netflix, where you're not paying $80 a month, for a pay-per-view, that's a game changer. I think that could undercut ESPN too, guys. I think we're not thinking about that from the UFC side as well. But let's keep it with WWE though.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant.
ESPN Plus.
Yeah. You have to have ESPN Plus, and then you have to purchase the pay-per-views on top of that. Yeah, I mean, I when I look at Netflix and I look at the fact, that's the first thing I thought of, Pat. I'm so glad you brought it up. Is no more commercials on Monday Night Raw, which is great. And then they're probably gonna get rid of the third hour because you're not gonna be able to do 3 hours like commercial free. They're gonna have to cut it back. So it could be 2 hours.
Well, Netflix is about to announce that they're changing their prices in a couple weeks.
Of course they are. They just got WWE. That's going to be a major get. People will sign up to Netflix just to get that. There are people that have Peacock just for the WWE. They don't watch anything else. Well, I mean, yeah.
That's what I got it for. I mean, there's a lot of stuff on there, but that's what I got it for.
I mean, and Sunday Night Football.
Well, guys, what's funny though is that I was looking at the market today, and it's interesting. After that announcement, the Netflix stock really went up this week. It closed today up $52, while the WWE stock only closed at above $5. And I just thought that was holy cow! That's again for someone who looks at that on the market. I was like, wow, that's great for Netflix shareholders to see the stock close today at such a high level. WWE is kind of treading water. The announcement didn't really make much of a difference with the stock there. It closed up $5 tonight. We'll see how it does close for the rest of the week. But no, listen, you guys are right. I think that Netflix, the crossover, I think it's going to be maybe a good experiment. Obviously we're seeing SmackDown on USA. I don't recall how long that contract's for, and I don't recall how long the CW contract is with NXT. But again, if it goes well, right? Maybe fine tuning the show. Maybe again, guys, 2 hours commercial free without any breaks. I mean, that's going to be a little bit of pressure on the writing.
They can't do it, man.
No, not at all.
Wrestlers need a breather.
Are you fucking kidding me? When you go to a live Monday Night Raw, they're doing the fucking show live right there. No commercials. Yeah. They're not stopping and going to commercial in there. They're running around. They're doing whatever. So they show video packages. You show vignettes. You do more character shit. You can do stuff backstage that gives you more of an opportunity to tell stories. Like, get out of here. Get out of here. Come on. Like, they're not
going to be ready, and they have a year to prep for this. They have an entire year to prep for it.
So you think keeping it at 3 hours is going to continue, or do you think it'll?
I think there's a possibility they could go 2. They could keep it 3. They could do whatever the fuck they want, you know. But it's going to be interesting once they finally do it. Like there might be some changes, but it lends itself more to character development. That's what they're fucking good at.
Yeah,
that's what they're fucking good at. That's how you make stars, man.
Exactly.
Tyler, your thoughts since AEW is having, it's having trouble drawing flies, much less anything else. You think a streaming service is in their future, being?
I don't honestly know. Do you take every opportunity you can to take a cheap shot, or like?
No, I'm just making an observation. I mean, again, I'm a scientist. I make observation. That's all.
I have no idea. There was rumors of them, having to deal with Max. Obviously, that didn't come out. This is good news for them though too, because that means that Time Warner didn't get the WWE deal. I think we killed Macho. Time Warner didn't get the WWE deal, so now they'll probably keep their deal.
Oh yeah, TNT and TBS, they have to keep AEW now because they're losing. Like they don't have a choice because they lost WWE. They have to keep that product.
What if they don't want wrestling like when WCW?
No, they want wrestling. Wrestling's way too big. Think about it right now. WWE just went to Netflix. Content. Yeah, that's what they want.
It's live streaming content. That's it. That's what they want.
They want wrestling. Maybe it's not good. It's not good wrestling, but they want wrestling because it's still a marketplace.
What about TNA?
Wrestling is bad.
What about TNA? Aren't they looking for a network?
Guys, as much as I love TNA, I think it's I just get a sense that Access is their ceiling. They're gonna have to do better with buildings. They're gonna have to keep it.
Damn, this is the TNA fan right here.
You're a fucking pessimist, bro. You're a fucking pessimist, man.
I mean, they taped TV in a rodeo arena last week, so.
Damn,
dude,
Alan's even ripping them.
As long as they have like talent that's recognizable from WWE, you can build a program around them. And honestly, I think the real wrestling war is going to be TNA and AEW.
Nick Nemeth,
the more AEW goes down and the more TNA comes up, they're eventually going to meet. And if TNA lands a fucking a deal with a better network, that's going to be the real wrestling war. That's going to be the real wrestling war.
Guys, that's the challenge because Access, again, unless you are on a streaming service like Sling or AT&T or DirecTV, it's not on traditional cable. So again, that's another big challenge that TNA faces with Access. It's not something that's readily accessible. And despite the fact that, listen, they're doing good numbers for what they can do via Access. And Access is not a bad channel. There's a lot of great music content on there, a lot of great docuseries. I don't know if other streaming services will be interested in them. I hope they are, but if that's the case...
You don't think they'll go to Netflix with WWE with TKO?
Why?
They're down with TKO, so you don't think they'll try to pull them to get more? Like, hey, we got TNA over here too. Let's get a deal.
If that happens, let's be honest. The AEW has to worry because, again, you're being on a streaming service that is accessible to millions of people.
The world, baby.
And I think that would be catastrophic. To Macho's point, TNT, Turner Networks feel compelled now. They may not want to give Tony Khan the money they gave him originally in 2019, but they're going to feel compelled to have to keep that content on there.
Power of Christ compels you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we'll see where it goes, but a big move. Obviously, keeping it in sort of a corporate structure here and setting. This week announced a new member to the TKO board of directors was named, and his name is Dwayne Johnson. And folks, talk about started from the bottom, and now we're here. You know, Paul Levesque and Dwayne Johnson one time headlining house shows in Kalamazoo, Michigan, and now they're at the New York Stock Exchange. And you know what? They're at the New York Stock Exchange, ringing the bell during the market. And I got to tell you, folks, I mean, that is a full circle success story if I ever saw one, from two guys that started in the business and now, you know, obviously Dwayne Johnson being able to keep the trademark of his name, The Rock, what that means now that he sits arguably at the head of the table almost. I think it's another great corporate move. Obviously, you saw Nick Kahn. Folks, what can you say about TKO as a business conglomerate? They're getting it right. They're getting the right people in right positions to succeed. I mean, it's a win-win for Dwayne Johnson, for a guy that, you know, whose movie career lately hasn't done as well, right? Some movies have called into question whether or not he's still marketable. That's not the case, folks. He's a great business mind, and it shows when TKO wants him on the board of directors.
From what I heard, they did add it's instead of 11, it's 13 now. So TKO has one more than WWE, so it's like one more for The Rock, baby.
Mach, your thoughts?
I mean, I love this. I love the fact that he's just slowly but surely just adding himself to like this area. I think this protects the business as well.
Wish I was his kid.
There's a lot of people that have pointed out in the past that, you know, eventually TKO might not need wrestling, kind of like the whole Ted Turner thing. Don't know if that would ever happen. I feel like WWE is such a big brand that it would never like go away, but I feel like The Rock being a board member with what he means to professional wrestling, what he means in Hollywood, what he means just in media in general, it just protects the business. I love it. I also love that he immediately went on ESPN on First Take. I love the fact that it was also mentioned that he now has sole control over his name, which is something WWE just doesn't do.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like it's very rare. People like Nakamura, AJ Styles, there are people like that that get to keep
but
their
Shinsuke
name
Nakamura, that's his real name, you know.
Yeah,
So-
yeah. But they could have given him something else. You know what I mean?
No, but you're right.
Like they
you're
gave,
right,
like we had 3 years of Butch, so I mean, like it they will change your name.
R.I.P. the legend, Butch, bro. Forever goated, bro. Fucking
Word.
Butch, bro.
Well, a lot of people are happy.
Big up to
for me,
Butch,
I've never been a fan. I can't
loved
stop
it.
thinking about
It
it.
looks like a Butch.
No, I've never been a fan of that guy in general, just that human being. I can't
He
stop
done?
thinking about that movie. No, I can't stop thinking about the Paige movie, where her brother makes fun of him and calls him a woman in the ring. Like that's all I think. Every time I see him, I see that scene, and it's just like, yeah, I can't do it. And I'm sorry. I don't know. Deonna Purrazzo is a better technical wrestler than he is. So like, why would I need to see him? Like,
Hey, to
he's
each his
just
own,
not
brother. To
that
each his
good.
own.
Mach, I'm sorry you watched the Page movie. I mean, it's 2 hours you left. You're probably never getting back. So sorry to hear that.
You can kiss
Dude.
my ass. I
Yo,
watched both
that
of her
movie
movies
was
and I
dope.
love them both.
That movie was and Florence Pugh.
What? You said you watched both movies.
Well, most of us saw the second one. Well, the first one, but yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Bro, I went to the movie theater to watch that movie. What are you talking
Oh,
about?
I saw
Florence
something
Pugh,
else,
man,
brother. I'm
Midsommar?
sorry.
Oh,
Sorry.
You gotta watch. Yeah, Florence Pugh was amazing, bro. Like what
I
are you talking
thought
about? That was
something
a
else, Macho. I thought
good
something
movie.
else. Bro. I'm
She's
sorry.
I
a
did
fucking
too.
good actress, man. She's a good
I
actress.
was-
She's
man.
amazing.
I was like,
She's
wait a second.
fucking hot.
What type of movie theaters we talking about in Pennsylvania? Wow.
That's what I'm thinking, man.
Okay.
What do you mean, like Midsummer? You don't?
No,
you
no,
not
I'm just
Bring
saying.
Me the Horizons.
No, I'm
Do
just
you
saying.
only watch
Yeah.
Transformers? What the fuck?
No, I'm
A24,
just-
you watch no
Think
A24
adult,
movies?
Macho. Think adult,
You know?
bro.
Yeah, I was like, what
yeah,
type
I
of
watched
movie?
those movies too. Yeah, no, I watched the movie starring Xavier Woods. I enjoyed that movie as well. Yeah.
Tyler, your thoughts on this historic day by Dwayne Johnson, a guy again who came from
what are we
poverty.
talking about?
Yeah, who came from?
Oh yeah, we was talking about The Rock, right?
Yeah, who came from
He
from
was
poverty.
in that movie, by the way.
What's that?
Which
The
one?
Rock in her movie.
Yeah.
Which one?
$7 Productions.
Fighting with my family. He's about to fight
yeah.
his family. Yo, he's about to fight his family, bro. Full circle moment. Long-term storytelling, man.
Yo,
Yeah,
the head of the table, The Rock, the Usos are all over television. His daughter's the GM of NXT now. I mean, come on, man. The entire family's taking over the business.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. Yeah, Tyler, your thoughts there. Again, Dwayne Johnson coming from obscure poverty, basically, to where he is now. It's an amazing story.
$7 in his pocket, Tyler. $7 in his pocket.
In Florida.
I mean, that's a little more than I got right now, but it's okay. I get paid tomorrow. I mean, it's a great story, obviously, and I think it's great for WWE to have someone of that stature and of that of their legacy to be on the board, and he'll be able to speak up for them. He's obviously, anytime you can get him more involved and have him around more, it's a good thing, right? I'm not a huge fan of The Rock, to be honest with you, but
You can't smell what he's cooking?
I don't always smell what he's cooking.
But you're a fan of Adam Cole, which makes no sense to me.
Hey, baby.
Okay, well,
Boom.
okay, well.
Let me ask you this though, Tyler. Do you know if he's on TKO side of the fucking board, or is he on WWE side of the board? Which one is he?
I don't know.
I believe
I
he's
texted him.
the TKO.
TKO?
I believe he's on. I got it wrong, but I believe he's on the TKO side. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think like I said, I'm not always a huge fan of everything that he does, but I recognize what he means to the business, and that it's good to have him around.
Let me ask you a quick question, Tyler. Now, did he save the business more than Hulk Hogan saved the business? Hogan saved the business twice.
Did
Rock
he?
save the business?
I thought Vince McMahon saved the business.
I don't know, man. He wasn't in WCW when NWO popped off, so he didn't save the business twice.
No, he saved the business. He saved the business. Like, at the end, and he took out WCW. He got his hand back. Like, yeah, no, come on, Vince.
Excuse me?
Yeah.
Huh?
Vince saved the business. The Rock's a bigger star than fucking Hogan. Come on, everybody knows that.
Oh, Macho's got his colors on his head right now, so I don't
Everybody
know.
knows that, bro.
Come on.
These are pizza burgers. This was a present from my son.
It's red and
That's
yellow,
why I'm
brother.
wearing it.
It's red and yellow.
Because I love food, like this food.
Can we make?
But it's pizza burgers.
Can we make the case though that Vince, along with Austin, saved the business? Because I think that feud is what really made WWF/WWE really go off.
I thought you would be on my side, Fern. I thought.
Well, no, I mean, listen, we have to be fair. I mean, Austin versus
can't trust Cubans, bro.
Austin, the purveyor of fat girls everywhere are gonna take a shot at me. Unbelievable. But no, I mean, to be fair, guys, Austin versus McMahon, I mean, that feud is what changed wrestling. It started adopting real world storylines, right? Suspending disbelief, and let's be fair, it's what killed WCW. Once that feud took off,
and The Rock turning heel. The Rock cutting them fucking great promos, the character work, all that shit. Yo, that shit was great. That shit was great.
Don't
and then
forget,
The Rock crossing over.
Eric Bischoff talks about it all the time. The moment that changed wrestling was the Tyson interaction with Austin.
Yeah,
that was it. That was the big crossover moment where it was like, oh shit.
He knew he was in trouble. He was in trouble. And
Good shit, pal.
Yeah, we saw that. And think about it.
Hogan's not even good to hand a beer to Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin might be the biggest star in the history of professional wrestling.
Hey, listen. I mean, this Monday we celebrate 40 years of Hulkamania. Come Hooker Crook.
Who celebrates it?
You do.
Yeah, apparently they're not distancing themselves anymore.
What's that?
Yeah, well,
apparently they're not distancing themselves anymore.
Yeah, they're not distancing themselves anymore. That's what he's saying.
Yeah, well, I mean, give Hogan his carrot on Monday because in 9 months he loses that record. It's as simple as that, I think. So
absolutely
we'll find out.
Love that. You know, because life's unfair, man. Life's unfair.
It really is.
My whole thing is like, if we're celebrating Hulkamania, like the 40th anniversary of Hulkamania, why don't I get a day off? Like, I feel like I should get a day off.
Your job's not running wild, baby.
Yeah, but if it's like that big of a deal, I should get a fucking day off. That's all. But,
listen, should Hulkamania be a national holiday? I don't know. Maybe.
Yes, it should, baby.
I mean, we already have a federal holiday in January. What's one more? I mean, I wouldn't mind the day off. I like the first one. So.
People, I don't want to hear
Hogan
this shit.
had his time, man. Terry Hogan had his time.
You see Hulk Hogan right there?
Listen.
Right
Do you want to know what wrestling? There's only one day in professional wrestling that's celebrated, and it's March 16th.
That's right.
Am I wrong?
That's right.
Am I wrong about that?
That's right. That is correct.
That's right.
You're wrong.
And he didn't have to wear bright colors and lie to children about, eating their vitamins and drinking.
Are you listening to the Warrior
milk.
now, bro?
What?
I'm just
Are
saying.
you listening to the Warrior talking about how he carries his gimmicks in his little pouch?
What?
Well, I'm just saying.
You
Yeah, I mean, Austin. Yeah.
What?
Ace are the greatest of all time. Hogan's not even Mount Rushmore.
Whoa, baby. Whoa, baby.
Like again, Terry Hogan deserves his flowers, but
Yeah,
Steve Austin is the biggest wrestling star ever. And Steve got over on his wrestling first before
bigger than
he got over
Shawn?
on his character.
Bigger than Shawn?
Hey,
Look,
hey Pat.
Shawn,
Whose posters on your kid's wall?
Sean's a
How old are
different
your kids,
thing.
Pat?
My kids are 9 years old.
Whose posters on their wall?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Holy shit.
They like him. Yeah.
That's
But
fucking
guys,
crazy.
in fairness, before neck injury, Austin at his peak as a wrestler, he was never Shawn Michaels. He was never Shawn Michaels. Let's be fair about it. I mean, I love Austin.
That's not fair, man. Like you're talking about Michael Jordan. You're talking about Jesus Christ in a wrestling ring. Like, you know what I mean? Like
No, Austin's a great worker.
Different story. Yeah, Austin was a great worker. Yeah,
Austin was a great worker.
We're not talking about Hogan's in-ring work.
So much better character though. So
Yeah, Steve. I think Steve was just he was the top draw. He was the big entertainment, like he was the big guy. He was the main guy. He was Hogan. He was Hogan. You know what I'm saying? He was that next version of fucking Hogan. Rock was great, but Rock was like, I don't think Rock was ever as big as Steve. He's a huge star, like globally, like outside of wrestling, everybody fucking knows him. Everybody calls him The Rock. Now you legally can call him The Rock, right? But it's like Austin got over as a wrestler. The match that got him over was the one with Brett at WrestleMania 13. After that, the one with Brett.
Oh, you mean the Crybaby? Okay, I'm sorry.
El Llorón. No, he's here with us. But
who are you talking about? Who are you talking about? Some Mick Carter?
Yeah. We're talking. Yes, that's a good one. But the match with Brett at WrestleMania 13 got him over, and then all the character work came after that. You know what I mean? All the character work with the shit with him and Vince, everything that I mean, bro, all that stuff.
Guys, that
was
feud,
fucking great.
That feud, Austin versus McMahon, that's what turned the tide for Vince. In the sense
it's unfair to compare him to Shawn Michaels. Oh, just a quick side, brother, but it's unfair to compare him to Shawn Michaels. It is because what Shawn does and what Shawn could do is different than what Steve does and what Steve could do.
Sure. I mean, I'm just going pre-neck injury. That's all I'm saying. Like pre-neck injury, amazing worker. Look back to those matches with Dustin Rhodes and Ricky Steamboat for the coveted.
It ain't about the moves though. It ain't about the moves though. Sure. It's about the story you tell. It's about how you sell. It's all about those little things. Because you don't need to do a bunch of fucking moves to have a great wrestling match. You really don't.
That's
you know?
right. No, that's
but
right.
If you got two guys that know how to think, okay. You know.
No,
but
definitely. Yes. And guys, you know, it's one of those things where we're gonna see where TKO goes from here on in, adding new board members, making business deals, and it's one that, let's be honest, it's going to make money, it's going to draw headlines and metrics, and it's going to get attention. Folks, speaking of attention, obviously this Saturday, emanating from Tropicana Field in Tampa, Florida, folks, we got the 2024 Royal Rumble. And before we get to sort of the match card and some predictions here, guys, real quick here, what's your favorite Royal Rumble match? What was so significant about it for you? We'll start with Mach.
Well, for me, the entire match we've actually done here on the show, which is the 92 Royal Rumble. That to me was such a big thing. I lived in Puerto Rico at the time, and my dad actually rented the VHS and sent it to me. Like, just straight up stole it from the video store and sent it to me to Puerto Rico. And that was like,
you know, you're making it way too easy for me, but continue. Sorry, continue.
Well, listen. That it was a really that Royal Rumble was super special to me. I loved it. I thought it was such a great match. In terms of singles matches, I'm gonna have to say Angle Benoit is probably my favorite Royal Rumble match ever.
Excellent.
You know, but yeah, just in terms of the actual match itself, I absolutely love the 92 Royal Rumble. 92. 95 is a close second.
I mean, guys, you can make the case that that 92 Rumble, I mean, there is a large amount of Hall of Famers in there that, my goodness, that really, I think, make it memorable. Tyler, favorite Royal Rumble match before we get to the card?
All right, well, he took 92, so I'll go 97. You know, the business was just starting to come back for WWE, and Austin, you know, being eliminated and then coming back and winning it with nobody seeing him being eliminated. That was really good. As far as that goes, and it led to one of my favorite and most underrated matches that I've seen, the Final Four match with Austin and Brett and Vader and Taker. So I'll go with that one. As far as the singles match goes, again, he took mine. So I'll say Shawn and Triple H from 2004, the Last Man Standing.
Wow. Amazing. Okay. Excellent. Amazing. Patrick.
It's tough. Well, my favorite Royal Rumble. My favorite Royal Rumble match ever is the 1999 Royal Rumble that was won by Vince McMahon. And I loved it because it was such a fuck you. And normally, like the Royal Rumble, whether it's, you know, a heel or face that wins, it's usually a good feeling, a happy feeling, a nice feeling that, you know, somebody won, whether you liked them or you hated them. But the fact that Vince won and the way he won, it was just so fucking slimy, and I felt like it added to the McMahon Austin feud and cemented Vince as the greatest heel of all time. As far as matches go, I don't want to go with an old one. I'm going to go with a newer one. I don't remember what year it was, but I'm pretty sure it was John Cena versus AJ Styles. I think it was 2017. That match was phenomenal.
Okay. Well, guys, I gotta say my favorite Royal Rumble match, and it's probably the most cosmopolitan one. Yeah, I'm sure you'll laugh when I say this, but it was 96. It was the very first one where you heard each wrestler's ring entrance music, and that had never happened before. And I think that adds to, I think, the intrigue about what makes the Rumble event itself so memorable and special. Again, when it first started, you know, a regular Sunday night event on USA Network in 1988, where, you know, Hacksaw Jim Duggan outlasted the one-man gang. Okay, great. You know, a great event. We'll see where it goes off into, and it became one of those marquee events every January. But I think that what makes the match and you know, why watch parties are so fun and why people get amped for it is because of the ring entrance music being added to each participant. That had not happened in all the years preceding 96. And I think once you started seeing the music, that added a different element to the match itself. I mean, think about all the historic themes about surprise entrance. Think about Edge in 2020 returning after X amount of years.
The greatest surprise in Royal Rumble's history.
Yeah.
That is the best surprise.
Well, I'll actually top one that's comparable in 2016, AJ Styles just having signed from TNA. Look at that one.
No way. 1996, Dick Murdoch in the fucking Royal
There
Rumble.
you go.
Who would have fucking thunk, huh?
There you go. Yeah. Again, I think that the element of the theme music really adds, again, in 2010, Edge returning from injury, right? Also, Mr. Perfect in 2002 after being away for so many years. I mean, there's just countless moments that I think because of coming out to your entrance music, that really compels, Booker T returning in 2011. Look how that building popped for Booker T.
Dude, the way Punk sold that was amazing.
Oh, absolutely.
That is one of my favorite.
Absolutely. I think, again, that little tweak to the match adds a lot to what makes the Rumble match itself special. So I always look back at 1996, again, being the first time that happened.
Yeah.
Favorite match at the pay-per-view / PLE itself, and I think you might find this to be very, very odd. I gotta say, Benoit Jericho ladder match, very underrated singles match in Royal
Rumble. You said his name, dude.
Yeah.
I have said his name. He said his name twice today.
Yeah.
So.
Very
What about
underrated.
you, D? What's your favorite?
I don't care about the matches, but my favorite Royal Rumble was when Ric Flair won the title.
There you go.
That was the best. That was the best one, bro.
Yeah.
Like the original motherfucker. I was there, bro. I was watching the pay-per-view.
And
Dallas.
It was just amazing. But
he was 17 years old, man. You were 17 when you saw him.
I was only 7.
94 was good also. 94 was really good. It was the first time we had a special moment like that. That was really cool.
Co-winners. And even still, Lex Luger still couldn't get over being a co-winner of the Royal Rumble.
Talk about my boy.
Go figure. The Lex Express, right? But turning our attention to 2024, guys, only 4.
Wait. Hold on. I got a trivia question for you though.
Sure.
Who won the very first Royal Rumble?
Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
Yeah, Hacksaw Jim Duggan.
No.
What?
It was at a house show. It had 12 people. Vince McMahon wanted Pat Patterson to show him what his concept was. The one-man gang.
Oh, interesting.
Really?
All right.
Like
Interesting.
that.
I did not know that. I thought the first one was on USA Network. Oh,
you ain't got no fucking trivia, Uribe. You ain't got no fucking trivia. You never do no fucking trivia.
Good catch, Tyler. Very nice. Very nice.
I saw it on one of those videos there the other day. Yeah.
Holy shit! Wow. But turning our attention to this year, only 4 matches on the card, guys, but 4 very interesting matches. We'll start off with the coveted United States Heavyweight Championship. Logan Paul, in his first title defense, will face off against challenger Kevin Owens. I think it's been budding for weeks. Owens winning the tournament on SmackDown. I think their showdown last week on SmackDown was great. Obviously, they're good talkers. We know that Owens can work. We know that Logan Paul, in these small sample size thus far, has proven to be an incredible commodity for WWE and TKO. Obviously, he's a trendsetter. He's an influencer. He's gotten it really down packed, and I think the sky's the limit for Logan Paul. I just get a sense that, Paul's going to win. Maybe some chicanery. Wouldn't shock me. He's a really, really kind of a sneaky heel. He's playing that role so well. And, Owens is so over with the crowds right now.
Bless you.
God bless you. He's such a great talent.
Bless me.
I think Logan Paul retains here, but certainly I think a match of the year candidate already for 2024.
I wonder what the cage match rating is going to be.
Yeah,
what's that?
I wonder what the cage match rating is going to be. That's
yeah.
Yeah, I'm picking Logan Paul. I don't think he'll lose the title because I think he's supposed to lose it to the Mr. Kennedy wannabe at WrestleMania.
There you go, baby. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it in Philadelphia. That's for sure.
That would be a cool surprise. I'll pop the fuck out if Mr. Kennedy shows up on Saturday.
Oh my god, yeah.
That would be good. I'm sorry, Patrick, Tyler. What do you think? That match probably kick off the show. Maybe, who knows?
Yeah, I think it probably does, and Logan retains with shenanigans. Probably
His
it should be pretty good.
Come in. I guarantee his brother will be there.
Yeah, I think Logan's gonna retain too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Guys, moving on to the undisputed WWE Universal Championship in a fatal four-way. The champion, the head of the table, the GOAT, the tribal chief,
Acknowledge me.
takes on 3 challengers in the Viper, Randy Orton, in LA Knight, and the phenomenal AJ Styles. Again, a lot of intrigue. They have really built this program up in the last few weeks with the Bloodline, certainly some backstories, the Bloodline laying out AJ Styles, the Bloodline helping Roman defeat LA Knight, the Bloodline taking out Randy Orton. I mean, again, a lot of interesting, dynamics here that really create an intrigue for the match. I expect Roman to retain. The real question is who does he pin, and will there be chicanery involved in that again? I kind of see Roman pinning LA Knight maybe after an RKO or a Styles clash. Maybe Roman pushes somebody out of the ring, takes the cover. But here's the intrigue for me. I wouldn't be surprised if this is where you start planting the seed, where Roman's gloating in the ring, you hear the Rock's music, the Rock lays him out, drapes the title on him, and just points up with the one, looks down on Roman, and just walks away. I think maybe that's how we end the show. I wouldn't be surprised about that. That would be some interesting booking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Roman's going over. That's not even close.
They should do the finish from was it HBK versus Edge versus Orton versus Cena, where HBK hits a super kick and then Cena falls on top of I forget who it was for the pin. Orton hits the RKO. Roman falls on top of AJ for the pin, and it's another cheap win that just pisses everybody off.
Yeah, that would be solid. I like that.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that would be terrible.
Roman wins.
Yeah, Roman's gonna retain, man. He's got to keep that thing till Mania, till he faces Rocky. But I'm sure it'll be a really good match, and all 3 guys can go that are in there with them. So I expect nothing but a good match for sure.
Yeah.
Well, guys, again,
it
should. Yeah, it sounds like it. It should be interesting. And again, it still leaves the opportunity for Roman to feud with other people after WrestleMania when he retains, once he defeats The Rock at Mania, which seems to be the scheduled match as of now. We'll find out more on that, obviously, in the coming weeks here on the show. Let's turn our attention to the women's Rumble match, guys. Certainly, it debuted in 2018. I had the privilege of being in the shithole of North America in Philadelphia that January for the inaugural Women's Royal Rumble that was won by Asuka.
Another really good Rumble.
Yeah, really good Rumble. Certainly a lot of surprises in there during the night.
Oh, you got to see Ronda debut, you son of a bitch.
Yeah, no, I dozed off when she came in, but no, yeah, definitely.
You can kiss my ass. Fucking Cubans, I swear to God.
Obviously a lot of confirmed entrants. We all know Maxine Dupree, my girl, Ivy Nile, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Nia Jax, Bayley. Maybe some surprise entrants, maybe Mrs. Calloway, aka Michelle McCool. Who knows other?
She already surprised last year. She won't do it again.
Oh no, who knows?
Trinity Fatu.
Maybe Trinity returns. As Naomi. Who knows? Maybe Alexa Bliss. She's I think many months since giving birth. I think some recent photos came out of her. Looking in great shape. We'll see.
Maybe Alundra Blaze.
Maybe Wendy Richter, since Tony Storm called her out during the recent media scrum. We'll see. In any event, guys, I think we've talked about this for weeks now. We're seeing maybe the disintegration of Damage Control what a better way for Bayley to sort of break away from that faction?
Oh yeah,
win the Rumble match, to challenge ultimately Io Sky. Whether or not she gets some help from another best friend of hers, we don't know. We'll see this Saturday night at Tropicana Field, but I will be shocked if it's
money.
I'd be shocked if it's not Bayley winning this Sunday. But it's always entertaining, the entrance, the surprises. And listen, the women's Rumble matches, I can't think, again, it's only been in existence since 2018, but I can't think of one bad one since its inception. It's been beautifully, it's been great overall, guys.
I'm picking Nia Jax.
Why, dude? Why?
Well, he likes.
She can't
cut a promo.
You're not watching wrestling today, then that's what it is, because she can cut a promo. She has organic heat right now. There's no one in the business.
Triggered you are.
Not
look at how triggered you are, D.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying she's ugly. I think she's gorgeous. I just think she can't cut a fucking promo.
I know you're Uribe back if she had a dick. Listen, so she's got organic heat. And I legitimately feel like this is the way it's going to go. She's going to win.
That's the only thing organic about it.
She's too big a heel to wait till WrestleMania. She wants to do something that nobody else could do. She wants to beat Mommy in her hometown.
That ain't happening, bro.
Rhea in Perth. And then guess what? Rhea beats her because Rhea beats everybody.
Mommy's always on top.
The show closes with Rhea on top, just like normal. Becky wins the Elimination Chamber, and they close the show in a face-off leading up to WrestleMania. That's what I see happening.
That's happened before, though, right, guys? Where the Rumble winner, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't happen in 2008 where Cena didn't wait until Mania to challenge, and then he lost his opportunity, and that's why he became a triple threat? Is that what you're saying? That Nia wins, and then she doesn't wait until Mania, she gets the title shot before? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, I think she challenges Rhea in Australia.
Okay, interesting. Okay,
I think he's half right. I think Becky's going to win the Chamber, and I think Bayley's going to win the Royal Rumble. I think it makes sense for what they've been doing for Damage Control. You have no Charlotte. What are they? Are they going to pull a rabbit out of a hat? You know, Sasha maybe. That's the rabbit, but she could get mixed up with that angle. That's a good way to make that big. And, Jade Cargill, but Jade Cargill needs to be on her own. Jade Cargill don't need no little fucking buddies, No.
I mean, like, that would be a shock to people if she won the Rumble. If she just came out and wins it.
Well, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, that would be a shock for sure, but I don't know, dude. That you could figure out a better way to get her into WrestleMania that doesn't kill a spot for somebody else that the audience would probably be more invested in instead of hot
show. I feel like I'd be more invested in Damage Control. I feel like I'd be more invested if I like it. Yeah, Bayley. If Bayley wins, that would be amazing because I feel like that puts her in like Hall of Fame category, right? Like if you think about it, everything she's accomplished in professional wrestling. But I feel like the story would be better off if Damage Control is the reason she gets eliminated. Like they're at fault.
That could be cool. That could be cool.
That's possible.
That could be cool.
That's possible. Tyler, who do you like on Saturday night?
First, let me say I'm so dumb that I could not realize why Bayley kept saying she was going to challenge Rhea. Obviously, because Io has the title.
Yeah.
So let me call myself out there. I think it's Becky because I think Becky and Rhea is going to be the women's title match at Mania. And no, she has won it. So it's one thing she hasn't done, but she has. But yeah, I still think it's Becky.
Becky 2-time.
So do you think that? Okay, so Tyler, so what you're saying is that you feel Becky wins the Rumble, and then subsequently Bayley would have to win the Chamber match to challenge Io, and then that creates a full disintegration of Damage Control. Is that what you're thinking?
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's a good way to do it too, because she's forced to challenge her, and then they can kind of, fray at the seams as the weeks go by toward Mania, and the week before it could just be like a full-on just brawl.
Interesting. Okay. Well, guys, we'll see. And obviously,
I think they're gonna tease it on the Go Home show. I think they're gonna tease it on the Go Home show with a backstage vignette, and then that's what's gonna kind of create the tension. And they might even have another vignette leading up to the Rumble. You know, because that's a big angle that they got to start doing shit with.
They've already had Dakota call her out and tell her she's got to do it alone. That happened on SmackDown.
Okay.
He told her, "You're in the Rumble, but you're doing it alone. You got to show us you can do this alone." I thought that was a weird promo.
Yeah, that looked like a little bit like, hey, we're gonna admonish you when you've been sort of like the backbone of the faction, right? So interesting.
Yeah, like I remember Survivor Series, she was out there saving all their asses the whole time, and then eventually she got taken out, and then she ate the pin, right?
Here he goes. I got another scenario. Did. What if Monet comes in and she takes over Damage Control?
Nah.
No?
Nah.
She's not a good enough talker to lead a group.
It's not even that. You need the happy moment. You need the payoff. And I think having her come in and be friendly with Bayley and then Bayley win the Rumble, that could be enough to cause the tension. You know what I mean? That could just be enough to do it. And I think they could figure it out in a really cool way, but that could be one of the ways that they could do something like that.
D, I appreciate the little out of the box thing. I mean, I know you're trying to look like Obi-Wan there with the hood and the beard, but that's not really working out too well. But no, we appreciate the effort there, though.
Obi-Wan, possibly one of the worst Jedis ever.
What are you talking about?
Bad friend.
Yes.
Really bad friend.
Yeah, he's a terrible friend.
The code. The
General
code.
Kenobi was one of the more noble Jedi. Like what?
He broke the bro code, though.
Bro,
Dominic is right.
Yo, he broke the bro code, dude. He told fucking Padme that he killed
murdered children.
Bro, that's a conversation you gotta have with your woman, bro. You gotta have that conversation with your woman yourself. Why is your boy gonna go fucking tell your old lady that shit? Why? He's a bad friend.
Luke Skywalker was a better Jedi. Yoda was a better Jedi.
He denied
Mace Windu was a better Jedi.
Qui-Gon motherfucking
Jinn was a better Jedi.
You're out of your mind, dude. Stop it with this Rey Skywalker crap.
Rey Skywalker? Yeah.
Anakin is the greatest Jedi of all time.
Guys, in Obi-Wan the series, if Obi-Wan had more of a killer instinct, like I would have decapitated Anakin right there.
Damn, dude, there'd be no episode 4.
Hold on a second. Time out. He apologized to him. He fucking told him, Anakin, I'm sorry for everything.
Yep. Yeah, and they should just
for everything.
He should just decapitate him right there, and he would save the galaxy. Would have spared everybody the horror.
What he should have done was looked at him and said, I'm sorry, I love you, and then cut his head off.
That's it. Awesome.
Yeah, you guys don't want episode 4 through 4.
I had to bring it back to wrestling.
Yeah. So
he couldn't do it. He couldn't do it. That's why Anakin was like, yo, I'm going to just turn this motherfucker into just his clothes. I'm going to make him disappear and just leave his clothes.
He was salty that fucking,
that's it.
He was salty that Ben chopped off his legs and his arm, dude. I mean, he was salty.
He kind of went over better, I think, in the long run, because like he dipped his toe in the dark side. Well, he burnt his body because again, Obi-Wan's a bad friend, bad fucking friend. Yeah. Okay, he got it.
Qui-Gon would have been disappointed.
He got involved with some shady people in the form of Sheev Palpatine, and things kind of went a little fucking sideways. But whatever, man. Look, he did the dark side thing. He came back. His kids kind of thought he was an asshole, but then he ends up getting him back, and his fucking son helps him out. He brings him back. Now he's a fucking Force ghost, bro. Pretty fucking.
I think I understand more when they speak Spanish than I do in what they're talking about now. So.
All right. Well,
all you need to know is Rey Skywalker is the greatest Jedi ever.
Bro, you just like poking the bear, dude.
Ooh.
Name me a Jedi that was that powerful that fast.
Anakin.
No.
Anakin. She's a Palpatine. Palpatine's a garbage. Skywalker, bro, all the way.
In the
Yeah.
Force
You
Awakens,
sweet me,
he
Skywalker.
literally becomes
Nah, man.
You sweet me, Skywalker.
But you can't say Palpatine's garbage, bro, because
Compared to Anakin with all 4 limbs because his bad friend cut him off. Yeah.
He could use the fucking dark side of the Force better than anybody. He was like Yoda, except Yoda was gullible.
Yeah, but if Anakin would have had all 4 of his limbs because his bad friend cut him off, he would have been the most powerful.
He didn't need his fucking limbs. He used to choke people from across the fucking room. You know what I'm saying?
So he's more powerful than Rey.
He can just fucking think it. He could think the motherfucker's choking.
And listen,
what is happening right now?
Listen, and Palpatine's powerful. He circumvented.
We're on the wrong show for this.
Palpatine's powerful. He circumvented all the bureaucracy. He circumvented all the construction of all those ships. I mean, that takes a special skill to get the money.
I agree with you, Fernando. Where did he get all these friggin' workers and all the money for that? I agree with
Didn't
you.
he fucking get tricked by Ben Solo?
Yeah, to be able to circumvent, labor contracts, construction cost.
Was there a union? Was there a union?
I don't know.
Did he have union?
How he was able to do that. But guys, turning our attention before Tyler blows his brains out here.
I was about to jump in the pool, dude. He's like, I'm at.
Do I need to be here for this?
Yes.
You need to watch all of Star Wars, starting with episode
ultimately
4.
what could be the evening's main event, the men's Rumble match. A lot of intrigue, guys. And now, based on what we were seeing, where Sports Illustrated cut all of its staff this week, they're reporting, along with other news sites, that now maybe plans have changed for WrestleMania in Philadelphia, where originally we were looking at, going back to Survivor Series, CM Punk and Seth Rollins, the seeds being planted for that, Roman and Rocky perhaps, or Roman and Cody. Hey, based on what we're reading, the men's Rumble match might not even be Cody or CM Punk. It might be the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, Le Ring General, Gunther, maybe winning and challenging Seth Rollins, who's obviously on the shelf right now, dealing with some health issues with his meniscus and medial collateral ligament. I don't know, guys. I think whether Paul's swerving us or maybe the dirt sheets are getting it wrong, I don't know what to make about Saturday night now, because what we were thinking for months is, oh, yeah, Punk's going to win it. He challenges Seth. He gets his main event WrestleMania match that he has yearned for more than a decade, working for the WWE and everything else. I don't know what to make of it, to be honest with you. I think I'm almost sort of like a wait and see approach to Saturday, because maybe, who knows, maybe Paul's working us, maybe plans have changed. I don't know. I really don't know what to make about who could win this Saturday night, guys.
Until I know for certain, it's got to be Punk. It has to be Punk.
Too easy.
There's just no other way about it. Until I know for certain that the Gunther news is true, I just feel like this is set up for CM Punk. CM Punk versus Seth Rollins. And yeah, I believe CM Punk versus Cody is a bigger match, 100%. But that's just because Cody and Punk are bigger stars than Seth Rollins.
What about Punk takes that contract, shoves it in Cody's face, and goes, I'm taking Roman out?
I mean, that's interesting, guys. I mean, again, I don't know how much stock to put into the reports. Again, Sports Illustrated just cut their staff. Who knows if it's accurate reporting? Other news sites have piggybacked off of it. We started seeing, maybe Paul just tried to swerve us on Monday, right? The Rollins Gunther face off, and then, Cody and Punk with their face off. I don't know. I think it's brilliant booking by Paul to sort of maybe have a second guess what's going to go on Saturday night. But it seems that going back to Survivor Series, right? The footage on YouTube where Rollins, was, getting aggravated at Punk. We saw that face-off interview talking. We've seen the social media jabs by Punk at Rollins. Again, the element about Rollins probably having to be inactive for the next couple of months. I mean, listen, an MCL is something that you can't fuck around with that. Your meniscus, you can't fuck around with it, especially for a guy as flexible as him and as mobile as him. I think it needs time off. It kind of reminds me a little bit in 2017 when, if you remember, when he, had that incident with Joe where he was tweaked a little bit. I think there was some doubt in the air whether or not he would face Triple H in Orlando that year in 2017, but the match went off beautifully. He became the King Slayer, as they say. I think you can still keep the title on Rollins and have him be inactive. Again, it's not like, there's no 30-day rule. It's not like President Jack Tunney's going to be dug up from his grave and like, oh, you got to defend the title every 30 days. No, I think you can still have Rollins be involved and taking jabs at Punk and, sort of eventually setting up the match in April. And maybe Rollins needs a break. I mean, Jesus Christ, the matches against Nakamura all these years. I mean, hello, wouldn't be the worst thing to keep Rollins off TV between now and Mania. Make sure you get him as fresh as possible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. A lot of things can happen when you tear your meniscus. You can lose your smile. You can have to forfeit the title. A lot of things can happen. But no, I think exactly what you said is true. I think Seth's gonna miss 6 to 8 weeks, probably, with a grade 2 tear in his MCL and a partially torn meniscus, which puts him on track to be ready for Mania. I think the Cody or the Punk Seth story is too good, and I do think that they probably had to promise Punk a WrestleMania main event to get him to even come back. So because that was his thing, that was the whole reason that he was.
Yeah, he left.
Yeah. He doesn't want to win it though, right? He just wants to be in it, right? He doesn't care about winning it.
That's all. It's not about winning it. It's about being in the main event.
He's not that much of a mark.
The only person he ever wanted to go over on was Triple H.
Not Taker?
No, he didn't care about Taker. In that
match didn't mean anything to him. That's the thing.
He didn't even care about that match. He doesn't even look at it the way we do.
Yeah, which is sad because
like
it was great.
Yeah, it was a great match. Yeah.
Which
is weird because Taker doesn't have good matches at Mania. It's just rare. Maybe like 4 of them.
And guys, arguably, that was the best match of one of the shittier WrestleManias I can remember in recent memory.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that was a shitty WrestleMania. And that was probably one of the few bright spots of the evening. Let's be honest. That, the Shield winning in their debut, not a lot of bright spots. And
main event.
What's that?
Main event. Oh, dude, you were there? It was hot garbage.
Main event. Main event.
Hot garbage.
Sitting through that was torture. I mean, that was like Spot Fest, like 27. I felt like I was watching AEW on Wednesday nights. 30 finishers and everyone kicking out at 2. I was like, oh God, Jesus! It's like
that just sounds like a Brock Lesnar match to me.
What's that? I'm sorry.
That sounds like a Brock Lesnar match to me. 30 finishers and everybody kicks out at 2.
Listen here, MJF's #1 fan.
Better watch out. Brock Lesnar lives around the corner from you, bro.
Yeah. You can't comment on Brock Lesnar when your favorite wrestler is 5'2". All right.
Ooh. Damn. Well, my favorite wrestler might be about 5'2", but it's not MJF. Like,
hey, baby.
Finn's not very big, but
but again, guys, I think that
MJF he couldn't even. I wouldn't even allow him to like be security for Finn Balor.
No, I agree.
Oh, you mean Mr. Disabled List, Finn Balor? Well, I mean, I don't know. That's interesting.
Disabled List? What the fuck are you talking about? Didn't he get hurt one time?
That's cold, man.
Like baseball, the DL, the Disabled List, the injury report, whatever.
He got hurt one time.
Because of Seth Rollins.
One time too many for me. One time too many for me, as far as I'm concerned. But guys, again, it's one of the premier events, one of the original 4 pay-per-views. The Royal Rumble this Saturday emanates from Tampa, home of the Tampa Bay Rays. Should be a packed house, obviously. I'm kind of curious, guys. Do you think they're going to go back to the sort of baseball dugout entrances? Because we've seen that, right? We saw that in Houston. We saw it in Arizona. You think they might go back to that, or sort of like a traditional stage again?
They're going to keep the smaller entrances, I think, man. I think they're going to go smaller entrances. That seems to be like what they've been doing lately, and I think that works because it gives the fans a closer experience. Okay. I think, and I think aside from that, it also makes the venue look a lot bigger. You know what I mean? It makes it look fuller. Because when you look at it on the camera, it looks a lot more full when you have these narrow walkways instead of these huge fucking open spaces. You know what I mean?
So no dugout. So no dugout.
The dugout could be a possibility. The dugout could be I think it would be cool. You know what I'm saying?
Nappy dugout.
Yeah. What? Oh my god. Damn.
You guys know. If you know, you know.
Yeah, I know. I found out what that actually meant like years later, and I was like, oh, it is not. It is not what I thought it was. You know.
Wow.
But
guys, we'll see this Saturday night, man. I mean, from from Tampa.
What about the men's rumble?
That's what we're talking about. The ring. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
My bad.
You didn't give your prediction, Pat.
I didn't give my prediction. All right, my prediction for the men's rumble.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, see, I have the same thing.
CM Punk.
It's got to be CM Punk.
Yeah.
That's too easy, though.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
Sometimes easy's good.
Yeah,
maybe
we'll see.
Sometimes the obvious answer is the right one.
We'll see. And again, if Cody fans don't get to see him finish the story this year, who knows? Who knows what the booking direction will be for his character moving forward? I mean,
like, you know what Cody said already. He said if he doesn't finish the story this year, he's like, "Don't put me on the cover of 2K next year. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do it."
He said that.
Yeah,
he said that.
Yeah, he
that's
said
true.
that.
That's true. He said that.
Yeah,
I got Macho stamping that.
Okay.
Okay,
he said that, and he also said that he doesn't think The Rock will meddle in a story that's been going over 2 years.
All right. Well, I mean, guys, a lot for Paul Levesque to contemplate.
You
on
smell
the
that?
road.
Was a K-Fed interview.
You smell that? You smell that work? Yeah, I was about to say, you smell that work? Oh shit, I smell that
He's
work.
doing a good job.
Well, guys, the road to WrestleMania
He
begins.
got his asshole eaten on Monday by CM Punk in that promo. So
Yeah. I mean, listen, one of the better promos in the face-offs we've seen in a long time, for sure. But guys, the road to WrestleMania begins this Saturday on Peacock. Hopefully, there aren't 57 ads during the actual PLE. We'll see on Saturday night, emanating from Tropicana Field. Guys, before we call it a night here on this day in wrestling history, I think Macho will definitely enjoy this one. On this day, January the 24th in 1988, the NWA's Bunkhouse Stampede pay-per-view took place at the Nassau Coliseum in historic Uniondale, Long Island, New York. The main event saw the American Dream Dusty Rhodes win the Bunkhouse Stampede match, a multi-man cage match battle royal where you have to throw your opponents out of the cage. Kind of interesting tweak to that. The other participants included the total package Lex Luger, the Warlord and Barbarian, affectionately known as the Powers of Pain during that time, Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson, Ivan Koloff, along with the Road Warriors, Hawk and Animal. Also on this day, folks, as a matter of fact, in 1988. Now, again, contrary to Tyler's revelation there in terms of this was, again, considered the first televised Royal Rumble. Took place on the USA Network, featured only 20 men on that day in 1988, and it was won by Hacksaw Jim Duggan as he eliminated the one-man gang. In 1993, emanating from the Arco Arena in Sacramento, California, it hosted the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. Now, what was interesting, guys, about this Royal Rumble is that it was the first one to actually openly stipulate that the winner of the match received a title shot at WrestleMania. Now, theoretically, if you look back at the previous ones, yes, Hogan won back-to-back in 89 and 90, but it wasn't stipulated that would guarantee a title shot. We all know in 91, he also won. And in 92, obviously, the title was vacant, and that was won by Ric Flair. But in 93, the match was open that the winner would win, obviously, a title shot at Las Vegas later on that April. Yokozuna, the late, great Yokozuna, eliminated Macho Man Randy Savage in that match to go on and challenge Bret the Hitman Hart at Caesar's Palace later on that spring at WrestleMania 9.
What a weird elimination. So cool.
And that's why you don't go for a pin in the Royal Rumble.
Exactly, yeah. In 1998, the WCW Sold Out took place from the Harrow Arena in Dayton, Ohio. Also, if you recall, folks, that was the first ever King of the Ring in 1993 that was televised on pay-per-view. In the main event, somehow, I mean, thinking of Lex Luger in a main event is weird, but nevertheless, he defeated Macho Man Randy Savage. And on the same night, Chris Jericho won the coveted WCW Cruiserweight Championship from Rey Mysterio Jr.
Badass.
Also in 1999, on this day,
father.
yes, Royal Rumble, the Royal Rumble No Chance Hell pay-per-view emanated from the home of the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, the Arrowhead Pond. And again, to Pat's point, one of the most, it got your blood boiling to see Vince McMahon win the Royal Rumble, and that only furthered the Austin McMahon storyline even further, to see the way that, certainly Vince won. Another interesting element of the evening, certainly we saw one of the more brutal I Quit matches ever, I think, in wrestling history, with Mankind losing the WWF title to The Rock with some chair shots that, folks, if you ever saw Beyond the Mat, you looked at that gash at the top of Mick Foley's skull. I mean, it was scary. It was scary. It sort of reminded you, like, hey, guys, it's not a work to everybody, and it's still real to us for sure, with the amount of staples that Mick Foley needed at the top of his cranium. Also, on this day in 2000, on a Monday Nitro, Sid Vicious defeated Kevin Nash to win the vacant World Heavyweight Championship. The belt had been declared vacant since Chris Benoit defeated Vicious to win the title and then left the company earlier in the month. We would all remember famous.
What's his heart?
What's that?
Fucking mentioning him.
Okay, and of course, we all remember that historic Monday Night Raw where the Radicals, Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero, Perry Saturn, and also Dean Malenko debuted on Monday Night Raw, obviously early on that month. In 2004, longtime kayfabe WWF president Jack Tunney, whose real name was John Tunney Jr., died of a heart attack at the age of 68 in Watertown, Ontario, Canada. And also in 2016, it was the very famous One Versus All emanating from the Amway Arena in Orlando, Florida. The Rumble itself was probably one of the more eventful ones, as Roman Reigns started number one and had to defend the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in the Rumble match. He would subsequently be eliminated by Triple H, who would go on to eliminate Dean Ambrose and go on to win that title on that Rumble night in 2016. Also in 2016, at the Evolve 55 show in Orlando, Florida, Drew Galloway and Johnny Gargano defeated Tom End and Chris Hero to win the Evolve tag team titles. And of course, also that same year at Progress Chapter 25, Matt Skrull defeated Will Ospreay to win the Progress Championship. Folks, all that good stuff history happened on January 24th, on this day in pro wrestling history. Take us home here. What do you got for the end of the show?
I got 3 questions for you, Fernando. Number 1, if somebody gave you a title, would you covet it?
I covet things I like. Pussy, wine, titles. Maybe, yeah. I probably would be.
Okay. You would covet the title.
Captain
Second,
Captain Dad Sparrow.
Captain Dad Sparrow, there we go.
Paul Burchill up there.
Does the JD and JD McDonough stand for Judgment Day? Does it? All right, good question. And who will finish the story first? Cody Rhodes or Fernando versus Peacock?
I don't know. You can help me finish the story by stop being a cheap ass and give me your password. You're so gracious.
This is character building. This is character building. You got to go feud with Brock Lesnar, bro. All right, you got to go feud with Brock Lesnar. Sorry, man.
You you got Puerto Ricans stealing tapes and Puerto Ricans withholding passwords. I mean, where does it end, folks? I mean, I don't know what to tell you. It's I don't know. You could just be a gracious friend and just, you love me so much, give me a passport. That's it.
What happened to all the Cubans that want to work for their worth?
I don't know. I've worked a lot, I guess. I don't know what to tell you, man. But Tyler, since you're the only Canadian destroyer that actually sells these days, what do you got for us to close it out here as we go around the horn?
Yeah, I actually I wanted to say R.I.P. to Bam Bam Bigelow. If we'd done the show when we normally do yesterday, that would have been on this day in wrestling history. So he certainly deserves a shout out.
Absolutely.
Squeezed blood out of my head when I was a kid. Okay, squeezed blood out of my fucking head.
He dissed me when I was a kid.
I would diss you too.
Yeah.
You look like a bum asking for money in Harrison. What's wrong with you? Come on.
Yeah, man. We gotta get you a Ray Skywalker shirt.
I'm telling you, Tyler. Good one there. Definitely some good historical information there. Be careful. Don't get drunk and fall in the pool, bro. Please. We don't need any more unfortunate stuff going on in the state of Florida. Mach, what do you got for us there? What do you got for us in the pit of civilization there in Pennsylvania?
I'm just looking forward to Cody Rhodes not winning the Rumble this week and watching all the fans cry on the internet. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to The Rock stealing the main event of WrestleMania and watching, fans just cry about it for a long time. It's going to be fun because the more they cry about it on the internet, the more it's going to happen.
Okay.
Patrick, I'm excited about it.
No, I already said everything I had to say. I asked my 3 questions before everybody else did their
Those are 3 amazing questions. Those were 3 amazing
I like the
questions.
J.D. McDonald.
Real quick, Uribe, because I really like when you do stuff like this, like when you rattled off all the Sting stuff. From 1994 to now, can you name all the Royal Rumble winners?
From 1988 to the present?
94. We already went through the first ones. From 94 to now.
God,
sure.
damn.
Off the top of my head, 94 was Brett and Lex Luger. 95 was Shawn. 96 was Shawn. 97 technically was Steve Austin. 98 was Steve Austin. 99 was Vince. 2000 was The Rock technically, even though it showed that the footage that Big Show won actually. 2001 was Austin. 02 was Triple H. 03 was Brock Lesnar. 04 was Chris Benoit. 05 was Batista. 06 was Rey Mysterio. 07 was Taker. 08 was John Cena. 09 was Randy Orton. 2010 was Edge. 2011 was Alberto Del Rio. 2012 was Sheamus. 2013 was John Cena. 2014 was Batista. 2015 was Roman Reigns. 2016 was Triple H. 2017 was Randy Orton. 2018 was Shinsuke Nakamura. 2019 was Seth Rollins. 2020 was Drew McIntyre. 2021 was Edge. 2022, hold on, it'll come to me. 2022 was, hold on. 2022 was Brock Lesnar, and 2023 was Cody Rhodes.
Nice. That's awesome.
That's nice. But remind me again real quick, who won in 2004?
Chris Benoit.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's 5 times you said his name, bro. 5 times. 5 times.
It's like Candyman. It's like, will he appear in the mirror and will he appear in the mirror and strangle me or suffocate me in my sleep?
That's a name that I don't want to hear.
Oh, Candyman? Yeah.
Candyman.
Stop fucking saying it.
And you did mention one wrestler who I feel so bad his career fell, bro, with Del Rio, bro. How the mighty have fallen.
What are you talking about? He's on our show every fucking week. He's the leading journalist.
Wow.
I think he looks more like what's his name, bro? Fucking Arrogance, bro. What the fuck is his name?
Rick
Martel.
Rick Martel, yeah.
a deserved. And by the way, guys, I think that a topic for shows leading up to WrestleMania weekend, I want to talk about who should be in the Hall of Fame now that thankfully Paul Levesque is running the ceremony. I think we should talk about who should be in the Hall of Fame. Who should be in the class of 2024? So, and Rick Martel should be in there because then so should Bam Bam Bigelow, for God's sakes. What the fuck?
What about Burt Reynolds?
Bam Bam's in there, brother.
Burt Reynolds in the celebrity wing. You know, he's at WrestleMania 10. Why not?
Bam Bam's in there.
Taylor.
What about Cy Sperling? Cy Sperling, all right?
Yep, maybe.
The president of Hair Club for Men. He should be in there.
Lex Luger.
Is William Shatner already in there?
Rhonda Shear. Yeah, William Shatner's already in there. You know what I'm saying?
I believe Shatner
Jennifer Flowers?
Jennifer, fuck it, why not? Let's get her in there. You know,
Marla Maples. I mean, Marla Maples. I mean, why not?
Our truth.
Yeah. You know, we'll see. But guys, again, the Rumble emanates this Saturday. Sharing is caring. Make sure you let everyone know how much you love working the marks, folks, with Famcast Media. He is our potent Polish producer, Dee Rotten. He's the only Canadian destroyer that actually sells the talent, Tyler Taylor, the purveyor of Fat Girls Everywhere, and the Boricua Nightmare, Macho Rodriguez, and of course, New Jersey's premier wrestling analyst, Dominic Mysterio. And I'm Fernando Uribe, New Jersey's premier journalist. Because again, folks, my level of honesty is necessary in this era of deception. Enjoy the rest of your
job. You're working the tagline. You're working the thing, the catchphrase.
Enjoy the Royal Rumble, folks. Enjoy
You're the GOAT, Fernando. You're the Ray Skywalker of our show.
There you go.
Yeah.
Enjoy Championship Sunday. Let's go Lions. Let's finish the story on Sunday.
Bang, bang, nana, gang.
Let's
bang,
go
bang,
Lions.
nana, gang.
And let's go Ravens in Super Bowl coming up in Vegas. Let's hope so for the city of Detroit that's hungry for a title. Let's see.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Love had that first down anyway, so I don't know what we're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Officials are weird. But guys, enjoy the rest of your week. Thank you for joining us here on Famcast Media. Folks, we'll see you next time. And remember, if we're talking wrestling, you know what we're doing? We're always working the marks. We'll see you next week, guys, here. Once again, on Facebook Live and StreamYard, and also on YouTube. Have a great night, everybody.
Famcast Media. Bitch.